Hi guys, I just bought a shiny new Mercedes. Okay, fine, I lied. I did not buy a Mercedes. Frankly, it makes no sense to me. The office is 1 kilometer away and I just don't like the idea of a Mercedes. But I know some of you might want to buy one. So there are two ways to do it. The first way is you take out a loan and you pay an EMI and you can own that car. Or you have a lot of money and you can pay for the entire car and just own it. No loan, no interest. But I'm going to show you a third way where if you have the entire amount to own a luxury car, you can actually make the stock market pay for it and make some money over that as well. Sounds interesting? Let's understand how this works.
Yes, sir.
I see that the car sales have been going down. Can you tell me why?
Yes, sir. सर म्यूचुअल फंड्स सब कहते रहते हैं म्यूचुअल फंड्स सही है बट सही नहीं है सर. उसी के चक्कर में हमारी सेल्स नीचे आ रही है. आप बताइए म्यूचुअल फंड्स सही है?
Mutual funds. Yeah.
But why are we talking about buying a Mercedes, using the stock market, or taking a loan? Well, it goes back to this story about a month ago. In the newspaper, the sales head of Mercedes said, "Hamare sales gir gaye hain," because that article actually went viral and many people were talking about it, including Nitin over here, who said saving is super important and people should focus on that. Also, if you want to learn more about Nitin and his relationship with money, check out this podcast we did. I'm sure you'll love it. Another reaction was from Nilesh Shah. He said a 50,000 EMI isn't possible to buy a luxury car, but in a 50,000 SIP in a reasonable time, you can actually own that car. Well, taking that as inspiration, we have something even better. But before that, let's see what Radhika had to say. Radhika just quoted it and said, yeah, SIP is good because, she runs the mutual fund. I agree, Radhika. Also, all these people have taught on LearnUp. If you want to learn from them because they're leaders, check out LearnUp as well. But let's get back to why we're here. Mercedes has very conveniently blamed their sales drop in SIPs. So, if SIPs have gone up and Mercedes sales have gone down, there is correlation. But is that true? Obviously, we have some data. Look at this chart. This is the growth of SIPs. So, you can see here, in this area, there was a bull market. Everyone wanted to participate in equity. So, SIPs बढ़ गए. SIPs went up. And then you look at Jan or slightly before that, you will see that the war started to happen. Retailers, as usual, got scared and SIPs actually declined. Do you see that? I'm going to say this again. SIPs declined. Now, if you zoom out and look at all of the numbers, nothing really happened. SIPs are averaging about the same they were in 2021 as they are now. Therefore, there is no correlation between SIPs and the Mercedes sales. But there are two reasons why this may have happened. So let's look at only the auto industry. The first thing is called pent-up demand. So if you notice over here, we have 2020 K sales, 2021 K sales, and 2022 K sales. The first thing you'll notice, that's at the base, you'll see sales went from 23 to 27 to 16. So the fall actually happened in 2022. But before we understand 2022, look at 2021. 2021 was a year where there was COVID, but it was sort of more relaxed than 2020. This is the time when there were COVID restrictions, but not as much as 2020, where there was a complete lockdown, you could not go out, people were on the internet a lot. In 2021, all that pent-up demand, which did not happen in 2020, converted into sales in 2021. Now that's interesting because the base then suddenly grew. And because you're looking at just that base of 2021, 2022 looks really bad. It actually fell to 16. So it's only relative. There was pent-up demand, the base was smaller, it grew, and now it's just come back to its norm. That's why there's a huge drop. The second reason is cascading taxes. Now, I'm sure you know this, but I have to say this. Ek to there is 100% import duty on any luxury car that comes in. And I'm sure BMW, Mercedes, and all the luxury cars skirt around a bunch of things to reduce that. But at the end, the import duty is very high. And after that, after the car is in India, if it was imported, here are a bunch of other taxes. All luxury vehicles are in the top slab. They're like, aapke paas paisa hai, government ko paisa do, which I guess maybe makes sense. So the GST slab is 28%. If it's a sedan, it's 20% additional cess. If it's an SUV, it's 22%. There's a total tax incidence of another 50%. Then there is road tax as well, and something that goes to the state government too. So the tax on the actual vehicle is super, super high, causing people not to buy luxury vehicles. And remember, this came just in 2018. So that effect is still taking place in what we see today. So maybe why Mercedes fell down has more to do with taxes and the base effect than with SIPs. But since this is an investing channel, let's understand how the SIP can actually help you buy that Mercedes if you wanted to buy it upfront with cash without actually taking money out. The EMI of that car will be paid by the stock market. Let me show you how. So there are three ways to actually own that Merc. The most traditional way is EMI. I will take an EMI, I'll pay a monthly installment, and this is for a loan of say 75 lakhs. So a luxury car, let's say 75 lakhs. What does this basically mean? I've put it in a calculator. 75 lakhs is the amount. Interest rate, I've taken 8%. Now, I could have actually increased this, but I've taken a low interest rate to make sure it comes to a lower amount for your benefit. And the loan tenure is 7 years, also maximum. So once you put all of that, you will see that basically you will have to have an EMI of 1,20,000. Now over here, it says 1,16,000, but I'll say 1,20,000 because it's just a nice round number जिसको हम याद रख सकते हैं. And if you do this for 7 years, you will be able to own that Merc. This is the simplest way that most people think. Let's look at a different way, okay? This is one. Let's look at a slightly different way. The second way is just doing a SIP. Now, I know what you're going to think. SIP karo, X amount of time you'll have the money, buy it. Let me go through this. The third way is the most interesting. So just bear with me. The second, let's call it SIP. So SIP. And again, I need a target of 75 lakhs. And I'll put it in a calculator over here. And I can see that if I did a SIP for 50,000 rupees, right? Rupees 50,000. Then in about 7 years, again, you will be able to hit exactly this number, which is 77 lakhs 7,000. So you hit this number, it's slightly more than 75. 77 you actually hit in 7 years, not bad. But let's look at the third option. Now, in this option, I'm assuming you already have this 75 lakhs and you're going to buy it upfront. So first option, if you don't have absolute any money, you take an EMI. This is generally a bad choice. It's a depreciating asset. Please don't do this. If you want to do it via an SIP, you can actually plan for it with the markets grow. So this number has come through Nifty Bees. I've got this number through that. And the calculation is 77 lakhs is what you get back. The third is where you actually have 75 lakhs and you are going to go and just buy it. Here's an interesting thing. This is called the SWP, the Systematic Withdrawal Plan. Systematic Withdrawal Plan is just like an SIP. You put money in the markets, it's managed by a mutual fund, and after X number of years, you can start withdrawing an amount. Now, how much money do we need to withdraw? We need to withdraw this. The 1,20,000 rupees is what we need to withdraw to pay the EMI. So, we have the 75 lakhs, it goes into the market, it grows. From the returns, we are able to take out some amount and pay the EMI and let our SIPs continue. So, what does that calculation look like? It's very simple. I have a SWP calculator here. I've put the total investment as 77 lakhs. And the amount I need to withdraw is 1.17 lakhs, right? So 120, but yeah, 1.17. The expected return is 12% a year, which is Nifty ka CAGR. And the tenure is 7 years. Now you'll notice over here, in 7 years' time, you'll be able to withdraw 1,20,000 every single month from that corpus, right? SWP of 75 lakhs. This is 7 years. Now, what's interesting is this SWP in 7 years will be paying the EMI of your car. It's not coming from your pocket. It's coming from market returns. That is one amazing thing. The second thing is you'll actually be left with about 20.94 lakhs even after you own the Mercedes. So what do you got here? One, you got the car. Two, You have approximately 21 lakhs left over after owning the car. Okay. And 3, your SIP continues. So this is interesting. Of course, I've taken bigger numbers because it's a luxury car. Maybe you want to buy a smaller car. You might want to try something like this. This way, you've learned the habit of investing. You own what you wanted, and you didn't end up being in debt and not owning anything, which is a depreciating asset. I hope you found this interesting. If you did, please give us a like and a subscribe and say something nice in the comments. This took some time, and Vasant surely spent time on the analysis of this. I absolutely loved it. See you in the next video.